Hey guys, today's video topic is going to be based on this Reddit question that one of our users on Getting Bigger suggested. And it's basically said, is there anything you wish you would have known as a beginner? I'm going to give you 10 things that I wish I would have known and a couple bonus items. So number one, gains are slower than expected. And so a lot of the guys, even myself included, I don't think I was meaning to do it intentionally, but I was excited. But I would be like, in my first year, I gained an inch. And it wasn't really true. Even if you look at my initial measurements, like I actually gained closer to about, like 3/4 of an inch to an eighth of an inch in that actual first year as far as like non-bone press length. I didn't get into the area of like 1.5 inches until, basically my 3 years, and you guys have probably seen my 3-year anniversary like post and pictures at this point. Number two is it works, guys. Like it really does work. When I first started any dabbling into PE, I came across an extender. I tried it for like 3 weeks. I didn't get any results because I used a crappy extender from a crappy company and I wasn't doing it correctly, and by the grace of God I wasn't injured, but I wasn't patient enough and I didn't have the best technique. But it does work, guys. You just have to stick to it. It can just take like 3 to 6 months before you really start to see results. When I started, nobody, at least that I was aware of, was really doing this. Sure, there was things like PE Gym or Thunder's Place that I wasn't even aware of. But now I almost feel like we have the exact opposite. If you go on our subreddit, Getting Bigger, there's all of these posts and blogs, and there's BD channel, there's my channel. There's a lot of information out there. It can be overwhelming. I would suggest obviously you watch my video on beginners part 1 and beginners part 2. I break down the bare bones basics. How's that alliteration? And I go through what you need to know and the basics of the technique. From there you can actually just get a foundation to build upon. And so if I talk about using an extender, you can then go on and search specifically for extender and do a deeper dive from there. But it can be overwhelming, and honestly guys, I am not a PE coach, but if you're really feeling that overwhelmed, sometimes it's helpful to actually hire a coach that can break this down for you. And you can just basically go to our subreddit and type in coaching and different names will pop up. Similar to coaching, guys, people will take advantage of you in a desperate situation. One thing that still continues to tick me off to this day is these companies that sell equipment mark it up 8,000%. There is a very popular brand that sells water-based items, and it's 1,000% markup. Just like people will be oh, take this pill, it works, when it really doesn't do anything, even though they say guarantees that you see ads for. People will take advantage of you in desperate situations. So if something sounds too good to be true, guys, it is. You're not putting on an inch in 3 weeks or an inch in 7 days or anything like that. If you're trying to gain an inch, it's probably going to take, I would say, a year. Best estimate, I would say at least a year, depending on what you do. Some people are hyper responders, okay? It's too good to be true. It is. Don't get got. Don't be a sucker for something that you're so desperate for gains that you fall for something that's too good to be true. Now, this is a big one for me, and I'm just now coming to this realization that this is really nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, obviously, I'm here talking about it. No, it's nothing to be embarrassed about, as I sit here with my mask on, hiding my identity. Hopefully, I get to the point where I'm a more major presence, and at some point, I probably will get doxxed. And if that happens, I pray it doesn't, but I'm prepared for that ramification because I personally feel like I'm helping guys get over their insecurities. There's countless men getting hair transplant. There's countless women getting Botox and breast implants and butt augmentation. And we're all insecure in different ways. And for all you guys out there, real men shouldn't use the word insecure. Please go F yourself and get off my channel, because this is clearly not for you. But to me, this is just no different than that. And you're just trying to build the best version of yourself. That's what you're trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. It's nothing to be embarrassed about, guys. So this is one conflict of interest, guys. Supplements can be helpful. Now, in general terms, guys, like citrulline, for example, it helps improve blood flow. It helps keep your endothelial, your actually blood vessel cells in your member, healthy. It's based on science. I've made so many videos about it, guys. If you want to check out those videos, check them out. But you really should be taking supplements because they really can make a big difference as far as recovery and injury prevention. So here's another one. Before you get started, you really should research as much as possible. Now, full disclosure, I watched Derek's video on the BM product and ordered it that day, and I didn't do any research and I didn't know what I was doing, and by the grace of God I didn't get injured. But guys, there's people like me, there's people like BD out there that are putting out helpful information for the masses. I really think that you should stop for a second, find a technique that you like, learn what are the risks, what are the potential benefits, what are the worst case scenarios, research which products are the best before you actually order anything. In the meantime, there's a lot of free techniques out out there that don't involve anything but your hands, guys. I have my like manual stretching technique on here. BD has full guides for both manual length and girth exercises on the subreddit. And so there really is a wealth of information that you can get started before you spend a single cent on anything, guys. That being said, once again, if you do want to support us, we have a bunch of products. They're priced better than anywhere else you're going to find, guys. And that's for a reason, because we're tired of people getting taken advantage of. And really need to find one method and stick to it, guys. You shouldn't be bounced around from clamping to jelking. Please, for the love of Christ, don't jelk anymore. To like manual clamping to, you know, whatever it may be, just because somebody makes a post like, oh, I gained this much using this technique. Find a technique, do your research about it, and stick to it, and kind of master that technique before you try to move to see if something might be better or worse. There are a lot of helpful guys on the subreddit that have a lot of experience that honestly just want to be helpful, guys. They are just thrilled with their gains, you know, like me or like many others, where I've used certain techniques and they just want to help others get over their insecurities. So if you are looking for helpful information, go to the subreddit. Please use the search bar, but guys make posts all the time breaking down exactly what worked for them, what didn't work for them. And so there's just so much information out there that you can refine just by a search bar. So please check it out. Guys truly do want to be helpful, at least on getting bigger. So conversely, you need to be careful, because there are a lot of guys that are very passionate, and in my opinion, they are passionately dead wrong. Like there is one guy, I'm not even going to mention his name, but like he swears by things like, you know, when you are doing any sort of like girth exercise, like you should have bruising if you're doing it right. And that's absolutely incorrect. Like, and that's just quite frankly dangerous. Also modeling practices after like inducing ischemic priapism. Very dangerous. Like you just flat out shouldn't be doing it. But yet he's like very adamant this is the only way to do it. And so like me, and honestly, I'm kind of like very strongly like anti-traditional clamping. There's ways you can do it safely, but in general, I have clients that injure themselves clamping. I personally injured myself clamping, so I'm pretty adamantly anti-clamping. Now that doesn't mean I'm right, because like I know M9, for example, like he's very strongly pro clamping and actually like makes his own clamping devices. If you're interested, you can go check those out. There you go, M9, free shout out there. But you know, just do your research, okay? Listen to the person that's talking, listen to their evidence, see if it makes sense, and do your own research to see if it works for you. But there are a lot of guys that give dangerous information. So short story, I had a client that was on Thunder's Place, and one of the guys on Thunder's Place swore by wearing a constriction ring all night long. And as a result, he literally got penile fibrosis and was like, I can't believe I listened to that. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you listened to that either. Like, how could you think that's a good idea? But when people get on a platform and they're like, oh, look at me, like I know so much, and they say it confidently, you're like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. The last point, guys, determine if it's worth it for you. I already made a video of if it's worth it or not. Watch that video. But for me, like, it was absolutely worth it.
Was it worth it? It was worth every goddamn second.
Like game-changing, life-transforming, confidence-transforming results. And so if you're interested, you know, do your research first, but it really can make a world of difference, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace and love.